need Mirakuru, or the Space Invader gets it. Watch this review show where I kill this Space Invader.
I can't breathe in this thing. Wonder Deathstroke's always so pissed. That thing's hard to breathe in. Hello, interwebs. 'Tis I, Sebastian Piccioni, and this is F3G2. Yay. I'm not gonna do the whole coming at you live because you know where the hell I'm from. Alright, let's jump right into some stuff. First off, I'm gonna do some TV reviews. So pretend I'm holding a TV. Or, I don't know, maybe if,
we can test Steven's editing skills.
Steven could do it, but, you know, he's probably got to change diapers. So, I don't know. Maybe he'll throw something in here. Maybe he won't. I don't know.
He's Canadian. So he's accommodating.
Let's start with, you know, let's go with Gotham. People have been bitching about Gotham. All right? People have been all, oh my God, the Gotham and the dialogue and the in-jokes and the These are the same motherfuckers that pout when they make a movie and they don't have enough in-jokes and Easter eggs for you. You want to feel superior to the universe. You're just mad that when it comes to Batman Easter eggs, most people get them. And plus, let's face it, they got jokes, they got this, and they got that, but it's not campy. It's not Adam West Batman, and it's not as dark and dismal and overly micromanaged as the Nolan verse. It's somewhere in between. It's good. Gotham looks perfect. The characters look perfect.
The casting is fantastic.
Bruce Wayne kid is already a better detective than fucking Christian Bale was in 3 movies. My girlfriend's coming back to me, Alfred. She loves me. She's leaving him. Actually, no, sir. She wrote a note and says, you're a dickhead. So the only thing he ever detected was that he was able to reconstruct the bullet to find the fingerprints that led him to the fact that the Joker had no fingerprints on file. That was it. We found the fingerprints. What's his say, sir? Says he doesn't exist.
That's helpful.
You're a load of crap, aren't you? Alright, so Gotham, really, really good. The Penguin, best part. Holy crap. Let's see. Then we had Flash, which was amazing. And it's got, as a main character, it's got Cisco. It's got Cisco Ramon. That's vibe, motherfuckers. That's vibe. Only they made him smart.
So many wonderful jokes in that too.
Yeah, has it. And let's see. It ended with spoiler 3, 2. Flash, a headline from a newspaper from the future that says Flash disappears in a crisis, and then says red skies over. What? They just started. They've got 2 shows so far, Arrow and CW, and they're already working on Arrow and CW, Arrow and Flash, and they're already working on a crisis on very finite series. But then Arrow premiered last night. I can't give you any spoilers because my cameraman will punch me in the face because he hasn't seen it yet. There's stuff to spoil though, and Brandon Routh is the greatest. It was just the greatest. The Atom was perfect. It was like a unencumbered Clark Kent on a lot of energy drinks. Is the best way to do it. It was great. It was so much fun. Sad ending, but you knew it was gonna happen. You knew.
With Arrow.
And then let's see. Next week we got Constantine. I already can't wait. So let's dive into some books.
Constantine and Walking Dead. Yay!
Oh yeah, and Walking Dead Sunday. I always forget Walking Dead. Imperial number. Where was it? Number 3. This book has 0 ads and goes cover to cover, and I mean that literally in so much as they put story on the front inside cover, all the way to the back inside cover. And this was, first issue was good, second issue was better, third issue is even better. Which means, by issue like 6, this should be like a great great book, and it is, and I love it. The idea is like a legacy character. Imperial gets his powers from his crown. The crown has selected someone that Imperial feels is less than worthy, but the crown sees this potential in him and seems to be telling Imperial that you can learn something from him too. Once you get the crown, it gives you the powers and it makes you kind of immortal. Our guy's not really great with it yet. It's almost kind of like a Superman Shazam story married with a Greatest American Hero story told through the kind of lens that Invincible is written in for, comic book
That
for
sounds
comic book
complicated, but
superhero
good.
genre. It's really, well, it's a guy who will be able to change into this Imperial through this artifact, so he's got like this Superman-esque kind of status, but it's a legacy. And then it is kind of like, how Invincible is a great superhero comic, but while it falls 100% in the superhero genre, it's also somehow without of the superhero genre, in so much as it is free to do as much or as little tropes as it wants to, so it can kind of explore that. This is done the same way, and it's really, really good. I read Batgirl before it was cool. This is the Venti Batgirl latte over here. It's hipster Batgirl. The art is gorgeous. The story is really, really good. Batgirl is only Batgirl for like a panel. Dinah Lance shows up. We've got some new supporting cast. The only flaw to this is, as first issues go, and it's a kind of necessary evil for a first, in a new arc kind of thing. Batgirl number 35. It's just so different than what it was. That, I mean, it is great. It's just it's going to take me more than an issue to get from my mind being
Gear shift.
here. Yeah, it's right now the transmission just fell out of my brain while I tried to work the stick from. All right, we're going from first gear Batgirl to what the fuck was that? Oh, my transmission is out. It's really good. I'm definitely on board. Very detective story in its own way. Batgirl has to, her computer's been stolen, so have a whole bunch of people on campus's items. She has to, as Barbara more than Batgirl, track down where, find these leads and figure out what's going on. Her relationship with Dinah is getting a little complicated. Also, she walks out. Apparently, it starts out, they just jam in your face that it's different, and that was part of what made the gear stall out. We start out with Barbara drunk, waking up from a party where she got so drunk that she kind of blacked out and doesn't remember that she was making out with this guy she doesn't know through the whole party until her new roommate kind of separated the two of them and put drunk Babs to bed.
Damn.
And that's a hell of a jump from any part of Babs' personality ever. And they do mention that, so it's not like they're just saying, oh, this is just, how it, everyone seems kind of thrown by this, most especially Babs. But what does make it easier to take is Babs is in like a girl's, one of those, what do they call them, like baby doll cut jersey style shirt that says 52 on it. But she's also in just basically that and a pair of pink panties as she walks out and sees, the guy's still there and is pulling down the 52 shirt. So, who are the creative team on this? Cameron Stewart, Brendan Fletcher, and Babs Tarr. They did a great reversal. It's a really solid story. It's just, give me till issue 3. I'm sorry, new creative team. Give me till issue 3 to fully wrap my head around this gear change. You're doing great stuff. I just wasn't ready for it. It's really more on me than it is on your story. Smallville Chaos is good. I read these sometimes because, one, it's my Brian Q. Miller dose, and Brian Q. Miller can write just about anything, and I will follow him. But also because this has, I flip through these to see if there's a particular character I'll be buying the trade of this, because Lex Luthor has built his own Lex team of people wearing yellow lantern rings. And he's currently using them to torture and try and get information out of Booster Gold. So it's yellow versus gold. Suicide Squad number 3 is good. It's Manta trying to hold shit together. The art in this is great too. Who did this? They have failed. Be quiet.
Probably always. I told you, bludgeon.
Tom Derenick did the breakdowns, and then Jeremy Roberts and Rob Hunter did the art, and it's freaking gorgeous. But you've got a wounded and captured Deadshot, while what's his face is trying to call the team back in. What's his name?
Prisoner, Black Manta,
No, not the
Deathstroke.
Where's the part where he says? Because it's a guy we recognize. He says, "Who is this?" And it's Vic Sage. All right. So Vic Sage is in charge, and he's basically having a pissing contest with Waller while they're all trapped in Russia trying to figure out how to get out. Meanwhile, Manta's trying to hold what's left of the team together. Deathstroke has buggered off. Deadshot has been caught and is wounded. And Black Manta is left in between Harley Quinn and Joker's daughter. And Joker's daughter keeps rubbing in Harley's face that she's literally rubbing Joker's face into her face. And the two of them are just ready to kill each other. And there's no way that he can kind of hold this together. Then the Russians pulled out their secret weapon to do the interrogating on Deadshot, and turns out, yeah, that's another little twist. It's like, what? Seriously? Come on. So that was pretty cool. Avengers number 36. In 7 months, time runs out. It's a possible future story. Really good, actually. Thor and Hyperion are going off on a suicide mission to help save the day. Thor, now referred to as Odin's son, and already in his current look. And it's good. It's very heady. The problem is, at the moment, I want an Avengers book that feels like an Avengers book. The Avengers are all caught in these, like, if you want the Avengers to act like the Avengers, you need to read the crossovers at this point. Which brings us to Axis, which my entire review for Axis is...
Meh.
Yeah. I don't really have... It's... On the one hand, most of the characters are out of character for most of the book. That's on purpose because it's a mind control thing, and Red Onslaught.
Red Onslaught.
Red Skull has Professor X's brain in it. Red Skull's evil. When Professor X was evil, he was
Onslaught. Yeah.
Onslaught. So the parts of Professor X's brain that he had surgically implanted into his own brain, so he now has his telepathy, makes him Red Onslaught. So that's a thing. Harpoon shows up because someone at Marvel remembered they owned him. I mean, not Harpoon. Ahab. It's worse than Harpoon. It's Ahab, the mutant hunter from the future, who exposits a lot and does throw a spear through one of my favorite characters, Genesis, a.k.a. Baby Apocalypse. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. But so far, this worries me, or this has the most fantastic potential, because most Marvel events, I say they all start out great and kind of fizzle. This one's starting with a fizzle, so that could mean it's going to end abysmally, or it could mean it's going to be the greatest thing they've written. It's going to be like, dun dun dun, but I don't know.
I was about to say, didn't that happen last time where it started not great and still fizzled?
Yeah, unfortunately. So, the opposite of fizzling, Captain Marvel number 8. Kelly Sue DeConnick is to be worshipped and adored.
The aliens.
She's the greatest. This whole series. I mean, the other one was good too. Don't get me wrong, but since they redid it and threw her into space, this is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite Marvel books, and they've got Marcio Takara on art, and I've loved him since forever. In a mostly wholesome kind of way. But
Liar.
it's true. There's nothing wholesome about my love. Partway through, this becomes there's, these like shadow things are fighting to try and get the last Flurkin, which is quickly becoming not the last Flurkin as it's having kittens. Flurkittens? Whatever. So Carol is out taking on just like all of it, while we have an unlikely team up of Rocket and Chewie, the Flurkin cat. As they team up, and
It's not a cat.
Rocket's actually almost falls in love at one point when she just eats all the and he's like, his eyes are all like hearts. He's like, that was the single greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, because Chewie just opened up and like Cthulhu'd the darkness and was like blah, blah, and just like ate it. And then the last panel of this, it's not really a spoiler, but I'm not going to ruin it, because the last panel of this ends with the greatest scene. It's her, it's the cat, she's talking to the cat. The expressions on there, the writing is perfect, and Marcia Takara's expressions on both the cat and Captain Marvel are brilliant, and it's a thing of beauty. Plus, next issue, Lila Cheney, and Lila Cheney is one of my favorite characters from the New Mutants days. Sam Guthrie's interdimensional space teleporting rock star girlfriend. Copperhead #2.
Ooh, gotta go read that later.
Yeah, you do. It's really good. It's a sci-fi mystery western by Jay. I don't know if I ever say his name right. Jay Farber. Jay Farber. The guy that wrote.
Jay, you're awesome.
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of stuff, but one of my favorite things that he's written is he wrote and created Dynamo 5, the 5 illegitimate children of Captain Dynamo who each inherited one power. And that concept alone is brilliant. That book was great, and I miss it. A single tear. No, you know what? 2, 3, 4,
Really?
5 tears. One for each of the main siblings. There's some other characters that will do 3 more tears. But that book was good. But this is great. And the art, who's drawing this bad boy? Scott Godlewski manages to, if you're gonna have, it's certainly its own style, but at the same time, his people faces, like, look at this, that's her son in the front. That makes you think of young Carl back in the beginnings of Walking Dead. The face and expression and just everything about that alien, just like I said last time, makes you think of Ryan Otley's work on Invincible. So if you can pull in a style that makes clicks with your brain with 2 of Image's best-selling books, it's already that's not a bad thing. But it's completely it is neither of those things. It is completely a work in and of itself. Also, there's some scenes in here. The mystery aspects are great. The sci-fi aspects are great. The sort of Western aspects are great. And there's some heartstrings tugged in here. There's some powerful emotional stuff. Sabrina #1 is really good. I don't know what to tell you. It's
Is this the Bride of Cthulhu one or something else?
It's from that same, the same series. This is Sabrina Through the Ages. It goes through like the like almost all of the years that Archie has been around. It's like goes through like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. It starts with October 31st, 1951. All right, so I guess I lied about the 40s, but also, so it's not quite the timeline as like this is its own thing. So I don't know how directly this will tie into Afterlife with Archie, but it doesn't need to. Like I don't know if they're gonna get to the zombie things or whatever, if this all predates that, or if this is its own thing. But for what it is, it's very good, dark and witchcraftery, and in this, Sabrina's dad's kind of a douche, but it's really good. Ultimates continues to be okay. His Ultimates number 9, all new Ultimates. I like the characters, so I will keep reading on. There's a great scene where some guys break Forge out because they think he should be out there killing villains, and they want to work with him to do so. But they're also kind of white supremacists and assholes, so they break Forge out, and he kills them. I mean, not Forge, Scourge. They break Scourge out, and he kills them because he's the Scourge of the underworld, and these guys are just more petty criminals. And he's like, nah. And they're like, what the? And he's like, I don't have time for your. He's like, I don't have time for your racist agenda. I got my own things to do, but I guess I should thank you for letting me out. Boom, boom, boom. Cloak and Dagger continue to have issues. Yada, yada. Amazing Spider-Man, guest starring Miss Marvel. It's Dan Slott and Christos Gage. Two great tastes that go great together. And the art by, I don't know how you say his name. It's Italian enough that even I'm going to trip over it. Let me find a spot. Oh, and Dan Slott. You son of a bitch. It's funny though, so I'll forgive him. Giuseppe Camacoli does the art for both this and the backup. He has a team up with the new Ms. Marvel, who is like the ultimate fangirl in this. Squeeing basically over she's like, you used to date, Carol Danvers? He's like, we went on one date, and that was back in Spider-Man Team Up. So, that was just funny. It was well played. Or Avenging Spider-Man, whatever it was called before it became Superior Spider-Man Team Up. I think it was Avenging Spider-Man. So it's really good. I love the new Ms. Marvel. I've been loving Dan Slott Spidey, so there was nothing not to like there. The backup story introduces the Captain Britain Spider-Man, whose name is Billy Braddock, and he's let's see, what do they call him? Like Spider Britain Spider, whatever he is, but he's tracking down the Captain Britain Corps is all interdimensional anyway, and they check problems across the dimension. They're having problems with on a worldwide, and he starts realizing that the other spiders are missing. Saturnine's like, I don't have time for this crap, but cooler heads prevail, and they're like, maybe this ties in, why don't we send you on your way? Which does seem kind of stupid, though, that if there's something out there killing everyone with the spider power within them, why send the only spider-powered Captain Britain after him when that just seems like this is the one that's least equipped, send in, or at least send him with another Captain of Britain, but whatever. But there is a scene in here that I'm gonna spoil for you. This is why Dan Slott was on the internet saying, oh my god, I just realized this issue was going to come out before New York City Comic Con. And then I'll say, like I did back with a lot of the stuff he used to do with Superior Spider-Man, I love Dan Slott's writing, I love Dan Slott's ideas, I love Dan Slott. Again, totally in a creepy way, but sometimes the way he handles things makes me laugh, because he likes to come out and say things like, oh, I'm poking the bear, and then he turns around and yells when the bear bites his head off. So he had posted yesterday on Facebook, I welcome your criticism, but if you're just going to be rude and obnoxious, you're gone. I'm deleting you. Or maybe it's somebody he met at New York Comic Con, and he's like, that's uncalled for. And it is uncalled for. But at the same time, when you spend a couple days before, I'm going to have to hide after whatever, you're doing this. You're playing the game, and then when the game turns, And you know what the internet is like. You know what fans are like. A lot of them are highly sensitive big babies. Hell, I'm a highly sensitive big baby. So, it's like you can't poke a bear and then get mad when the bear, bites your head off. But in this case, what he did was, and it hurts, but I think it's really funny. So, one of the Spider-Men that gets killed in this issue, the whole time that Moreland's got him, Ms. Lyons is barking in the background. And then when he drains him, he says, "That was particularly sweet. You taste like a child's innocence." And then he leaves, and the scene pans out, and there's dead, drained of essence Spider-Man lying next to just regular dead Firestar and Iceman. He went into the cartoon universe and killed Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and left only Ms. Lyons as the lone howling witness to this debacle. So he literally went in and killed your childhood. So I understand both sides. I understand, no, you don't need to be a rude dick to the writer who did this, but on some level, playful or not, it was a dick move to do. So they're just fighting fire with fire. They're just not the wordsmith that you are, Dan Slott, so they can't play it on your level. But you opened up the arena and then let street thugs in. You're not going to get noble battle dancers. Batman number 35. So freaking amazing. This is the beginning of Endgame, which has been secret up till now, and that's even more amazing than what happens in here is the fact that it was kept secret. First off, this takes place post Batman Eternal. So the good news is Alfred's up and running. So we got some spoiler there, but nobody really thought Alfred was going to be out of the scene forever. But somewhere along the line, it looks like Batman, possibly in Batman Eternal, is going to take down the Court of Owls, because while they're going to do that whole Arkham Manor, where Arkham Asylum is going to get moved into Wayne Manor, Batman has taken over the Court of Owls headquarters. He's got like their buildings and their whatever. So there's like all sorts of owl crap in the background. He's like, yeah, as soon as I get rid of all this owl stuff, it'll be good. But he's also got, as is pointed out by Julia Pennyworth, his first Batcave with a window, because he's got like this penthouse with he's never had a headquarters with a window view before. There's some great moments with him and Alfred with that like kind of rebonding, and then Wonder Woman comes in and kicks his ass, and you're like, what? And just like Batman of old, he has contingencies for fighting each member of the Justice League. His Wonder Woman plan is brilliant. Took me a moment because I really thought Wonder Woman was kicking his ass until I realized the only danger of this is by stopping Wonder Woman this way. Bruce just left a weapon so powerful it's no, it's not ungodly. It's godly powerful because it's got Wonder Woman-like origins. Hephaestus made it. It's like an anti-lasso of truth, the bind of veils, and he's kind of left it out in Gotham on to eventually come off for her when she comes out. But then Aquaman takes him on, and then he's sitting there and he's like, if it's he takes out the Flash, Aquaman, Batman. He's got a strobes going, so we never see Cyborg, but he's got this thing going that'll stop Cyborg from getting in, and he's like, no, please let it be Hal, let it be anybody, but please let him be off-world, still be off-planet. And then Superman shows up and starts kicking his butt. But is the spoiler that should already be all spoiled on the interwebs by the time you see this show. So who's controlling the Justice League?
Boom.
He's back. Yep, that's a Jokerized Superman. So, oh snap. Then the backup stories are going to be this one. I don't know if they're all going to have the same art, but this one is by James Tynion and art by Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones on a Bat thing is already great. But there are 5 lunatics who've been charged with filling in this one doctor with stories the Joker wanted them to know. So you're getting kind of an idea of who the Joker is as told by 3 lunatics. So these aren't really who the Joker is. This guy's got him as literally the devil. Really, really good, really well done, and only a crazy person, only someone as nuts as the Joker would have his story told through 5 people equally nuts. And it's apparently a contest, and whoever has their story right lives, and the others are going to die. Batman Eternal continues to be really, really good. You get some great spoiler scenes in this. Catwoman is in all sorts of trouble, and Batman is up against more and more than he do. And Killer Croc is turning out to be one of the bigger, let's call him anti-heroes of Batman Eternal. He's got his limited mission of what he's doing, but he's doing right by his peeps. Big Trouble in Little China, so good, but so many feels because
more?
now no, it's a different kind of feels. Now that Lopan is back, the only reason Pete the Demon is bound to is bound to Jack is because he killed his former master. His former master's not dead yet. Lopan now has regained control of Pete the Demon, who is still walking around, however, in his trucker cap and shirt that says, "Buy me a drink and I'll tell you I'm 18." So it's so good, so good.
Oh, Pete.
We got Earth 2 galore. All right, Earth 2 family reunion. All right, this is Earth 2 number 27. Our Power Girl and Huntress are home, but now they have to meet. There's a new Superman and a new Batman. She meets her grandfather. Doesn't start off well, but kind of ends better. Turns out, through some flashbacky origins, back on Krypton, Kara actually knew Val-Zod, and they were friends then. So it looks like there's a budding relationship instead of a Superman's cousin who was raised as Superman's daughter, which is how Power Girl was in this world. Now she can be Superman's, kind of girlfriend, and so you've got that going on. It was really good. I love Earth 2. World's Finest. This now is we're flashing back and we're getting untold stories of the past. There's a little bit, there's a glimpse of the right now. But mostly it's the origins. And in this world, they all have flawed parents. We find out how Kal-El's dad was wrong in this world with his science. Krypton's still destroyed, but it's more his fault in his trying to fix a problem that wasn't the problem he thought it was. He screws up and is responsible for it. So, and then we already knew that Thomas Wayne was first being a private doctor to Falcone, and then realized it was bad, and it's in breaking that deal off that he got him and his wife killed, making Bruce the orphan that would become Batman. And we already know that turns out Thomas Wayne wasn't as dead as everybody thought, and he and Bruce had fallen out over it, and now it's how does he make it up to his granddaughter. And then Earth 2 World's End. Good, not great, but it's a first issue thing, and these things take a little longer to work up. There's some flashback, some current stuff, so I'm not 100% sure yet what angle they're going at, but it's Earth 2. I love Earth 2. So, Future's End. Sergeant Rock shows up. Who knew? Brainiac has no interest in yet another Black Adam. He's like, I've seen variations of you on various sorts. He's like, but these three are new to me. So he's more interested in Gem and Hawkman and Frankenstein, which is weird because you'd think if you're traveling in between realities, Hawkman has had more origins than like any other DC character. So there should be Crisis on Infinite Thanagars. Really, would be a whole separate series. Suicide Squad again because somehow I ended up with two.
Okay.
The review's the same. Superman, Wonder Woman, Charles Soule. This is the follow-up to Doomed. It involves a hell of a plant, a hell of a Kryptonian plant. Charles Soule has just added the most original and cool alien plant story since the original Black Mercy story. And this isn't Black Mercy. It gets to be. I was like, oh, they're gonna do Black Mercy again because but no, they did their own thing. It also features Swamp Thing because plants. Swamp Thing learns to speak Kryptonian by bonding with this plant not of Earth. So that's kind of cool. And then this Wonder Woman finally breaks down and says the L word to Clark. She says lesbian. She says, I'm from an island of all women. No, she says I love you. But she could have said lesbian because I'm from an island of all women. And I thought I was made of clay, but I'm not, Clark. I'm not. I'm a goddess. Treat me as such. But she doesn't say it. She could have, but she didn't.
Only in your mind.
Yeah. Sometimes I read books that don't exist.
Sometimes.
A lot of time. Jackhammer #1, also known as Jackhammer #5. What? How is that possible? It's possible because it's just so good that it needed 2 numbers. And because it's the 5th issue of Jackhammer, but the first 4 were done as a miniseries. So on the cover you get, #1, but inside it also tells you, it says Jackhammer #1, issue 5 in a series. What? But that just means if you haven't read the first 4, you don't need to for this. But buy the trade anyway, because it's good. It's the return of creative team Brandon Barrows and Ionic. My favorite artist to say, because I like to say Ionic. I just feel positive about the name. Because it's Ionic. Positive.
I really should strike you for that one.
Come on. It's positively entertaining. This issue ends with a dilemma for our hero, Jack Hammer. Former superhero Jack Hammer, doesn't like to be called that anymore, has gone private eye. He's gone from cape to gumshoe. And he's working on missing persons, and things get complicated. And it looks like there may be some mind control involved. And then we get an ad. I swear I ordered First Hero, which came out today, yesterday, but I didn't get it. So I'll have to hunt and see if they have one on the shelf because I wanted to read that. But and Midnight Tiger, I know I ordered, but I haven't seen one in forever. What's up with that? But Action Lab is always some good stuff, and Brandon Barrows can write, and he does. He writes all the damn time. Go on Facebook. You know what he mostly writes about? Writing. The man is dedicated. It's like Inception. He writes about writing. That's layers. So read that. That's très bien. Rocket Raccoon. It's sad. Rocket's sad. It's sad. We get the origin of the other raccoon. It's not a raccoon. I'll spoil it for you in 3, 2, 1. You ready? You ready? It's Blackjack O'Hare, the rabbit from the Rocket Raccoon series back in the day, and he's pissed at Rocket, and this has all been this whole revenge thing. But it kind of breaks Rocket's heart because he really didn't want to be alone. There's a little bonding moment, great moment with the Guardians, and then Rocket dealing with the aftermath, and then an epic epilogue that lets us know that we know more than Rocket, which probably isn't that difficult, but it's so good. It's so, Scotty Young, you think of him as like, it's that guy that draws like the baby versions of people, but writing wise, it's all fun and games and layers of seriousness that you didn't realize were there. So that's well done. Nightcrawler, Death of Wolverine, Nightcrawler number 007. Wolverine he only did half of Live and Let Die. He just died. This is a really good issue. It's mostly, that episode of sitcoms where they look back and go, remember the time, and then they do cutaway scenes. It's a lot of that for Nightcrawler remembering his friend Logan. And there's a lot of emotion, heartstrings tugged at, but the tugging isn't as powerful, not because this isn't good. Well, first off, Marguerite Bennett did the plot and Chris Claremont did the script. I've been giving both of them a hard time. They're not on my top writers of the moment list. But together, this is one of my favorite things either of them has written. The only reason that this didn't work on the level they wanted it to has nothing to do with either of their writing and everything to do with
the fact that
Nightcrawler just came back from the dead. Wolverine is Wolverine. They hit all the right marks, but they were given faulty tools to do it with. A character who just came back from the dead mourning the death of his friend who's been almost killed 1 billion times, and it's Wolverine. There is no one in any universe who should suspect Wolverine's death is permanent. So it lost a lot of the weight. All of the right notes were hit. Everything was there. And if you feel anything for either of these characters, I mean, you don't even have to give a crap about Wolverine. I can go either way on Wolverine most of the time. But I love Nightcrawler, and feeling Nightcrawler's hurt. They did such a great job of, you just feel it. And Nightcrawler's trying to celebrate Wolverine and realizing he's celebrating Wolverine his way when he should be celebrating Wolverine Wolverine's way. And it was just really well done. But again, you've got a character that just came back from the dead on a team full of, this is what mutants do as they die and come back. And they're mourning the one mutant will not, whose death, there's no question, is not going to be permanent. So that was like a sinkhole undermining the foundation of their whole story. The story was great, but you have to really suspend your disbelief for not any of the story elements, but just the idea of Wolverine's death. Also, because the death of Wolverine is running late, this issue should have come out the same time as the death of Wolverine, number 4, where Wolverine dies. We get the mourning before we get the death. So,
oops.
Origin of she's not Equinox. No, she is Equinox. Solstice is the other one. So it's so difficult for me. So we get the origin of Equinox, the newest and one true Canadian member of Justice League United. And it's really an origin of her family. She's a legacy, and her dad, who was cursed as the Witigo. It's a variation of Wendigo, in case you were keeping track of Canada. And then we get Mon-El. What? Because we know that the annual's coming out, and it's going to start this Legion crossover. And we now know what's going on. It's Ultra, the Ultimate Alien, is, he coming. Time broken. He is coming. Hurt Ultra. Death of all. Who's coming? And Mon-El shows up. I've traveled from across space and time, from the 31st century, just to find you. I'm sorry, but that child must be destroyed, or the Legion of superheroes will die. So the Legion's back, but they have to play the role of almost bad guy for this. So it's rough. The Standard, number 5, really 2 issues in one. This ends the this is about 2 issues in one. $4.99 ends the Standard miniseries. Really good. It's a hero who retires and his sidekick takes over, only to have his sidekick murdered, and he has to come back to find out who killed, but now he's like old. It's like a less Frank Miller-ly intense Dark Knight kind of concept, only it's also the murder mystery, and it was really, really well done. John Lees wrote this. John Lees Glasgow. He's Scottish. And it's really good. It leaves a lot of potential for more, and it's got this great back cover paper where he just kind of writes about what this has meant to him and how this was a pet, and he leaves the door open that it's something he'll revisit, even if he just reads the old one that he's written already. But who knows? Maybe someday there could be more. And the potential is there. There's so much that could happen in this. If you're a fan of comic books, this is a good story to read, because John Lees is clearly a fan of comic books. Hexed, number 3. Michael Allen Nelson is the best thing to happen to Boom. He always has been. He's also the most common thing to happen to Boom. He's everywhere at that company. He writes like 27 books a year. And I don't mean 27 issues. I mean like 27 titles. He's prolific, to say the least. And Hexed is the thing he does best. And the art on this, the original Hexed miniseries was Emma Rios, and I love Emma to death. Me amo Emma Rios. But this, Dan Mora, is also just kicking ass. It's a beautiful book. It's a Street Buffy as replaces Doctor Strange as Sorcerer Supreme. That's kind of, actually not even. It's what if, best way to describe this in terms dorks can understand, what if Buffy and Constantine had a baby and she had to handle the kind of crap that normally you would call in Doctor Strange for, but you don't have a Doctor Strange to call in. That's what Hext is like.
Damn.
So yeah, that's really good. The Mighty Titan issues 2 and 3. They both came out at the same time. This is Joe Martino, creator of Shadow Flame. This is his book. He's been kickstarting this. This is a Shazam, Captain Marvel type character who his mortal half gets cancer, and Joe Martino has fought with cancer, so it's a personal kind of feel there, and it's really good. It's a superhero comic first and foremost, but at the same time it's dealing with the very real world issue, and in a very real world way of you get cancer. What do you do from there? You're the mightiest mortal, but at the same time half of you's not, and is the cancer half affecting the superhero part of him, and he doesn't know at first, and there's just really, really good, really superhuman story, very human drama. Parallel Lives is a gorgeous book. It's basically kind of spy movie, cop thriller meets dimension hopping, multiversity kind of concepts.
Cool.
In this book, I don't know where they printed it, but I love the smell.
Are you getting high off your books?
Possibly. It smells like something that I just can't place.
Stop shorting your comic.
Just mainlining comics over here. Free-based comics. And that was a particularly long way to get through all of those. I miss you already, interwebs.